Hey guys, what's up? Let's start over in case I talked too soon. Hey guys, what's up? It's Heather with the Mosco, and today we are going to do the May garden tour. Yay! I toy with the idea of should I do like everything else and then just the vegetable garden separate, but I feel like if we did that, the way my garden looks right now, you'd just be like, oh, you're showing us dead stuff. That's very cute. Oh, sweet. She's got a gardening channel. She can't grow anything. It's not me. It's her. And her band, her crew of puppies. I mean, she's a puppy. Yeah, you. What you doing, Jabbers? Jabbers. You're so cute. You're a good girl. She's a good girl, except when she's eating the plants. Less of a good girl then. Jabbies, are you a good girl? You're so sweet. But in any case, let's get on with it. My name is Heather. This is the Mosco. We do garden here in East Tennessee in my modern log cabin in a zone 7B. This channel is all about trying stuff together, and even though your conditions are not right for whatever you're trying to do, just trying to make it happen and do the best you can with what you've been given, and just trying things and seeing what works for you. So today we're going to do a May garden tour. If you've seen any of my other stuff, my garden was going so great and I was getting so many things done and I was really happy with myself, and then I got 3 puppies because apparently I love chaos. And I did not come out here and train them. This is not their fault. It's not Jabby's fault. Jabby's, is it your fault? She did eat a hydrangea or 2. And there, by the way, is the difference between plants that are poisonous to dogs and plants that are toxic to dogs. And hydrangeas are toxic, and I can assure you that puppies can eat thousands of dollars in hydrangeas and not so much as vomit. Didn't intend to do that. But anyhow, nevertheless, here we are. So we're going to take a tour of what's left of the gardens as we try to rebuild them. I thought this year as well that I would just focus on my vegetable garden, which I did fence in because gardening is my sanity in some ways, as it is probably, I'm holding plant tags and talking with my hands. But in any case, but I can't look around and have nothing beautiful to look at out here, and nothing to like improve upon. So here we are trying to make it happen. So we'll start down here. Why not? This is my Pamela Crawford planter. You'll notice that it's missing the top baskety deal. That's because the dogs ate it. And this is the hosta bed that usually looks really green and lush and gorgeous, and the dogs have trampled that as well. To be fair, I haven't put anything out to prevent them from trampling it. This tends to get just slightly too much sun for hostas to thrive. And so I'm thinking I'm actually going to move these and put a whole bank of Incredible hydrangeas for several reasons. By the end of the summer, these are all bleached out. They're looking terrible anyhow. The Incredibles will look better and they'll kind of age, and I love hydrangeas, and I think that would be beautiful here. And I think it'll also keep the erosion under control. These rocks, by the way, are not my favorite. I've toyed with the idea of putting like a ground cover here instead, because every couple months I have to come over here and physically crawl underneath these stairs and like hand move these rocks. We need to like sandblast and repaint these stairs. But this is a modern log cabin. I love the aesthetics of this house. We bought it like this, and I love it. If a house could have been like custom made for me, I feel like this would be my style. I like things that are a little wonky. I'm a little off myself, so it's great. So anyhow, let's turn you guys around so you can stop having to listen to me. So these are the pots next to my garage door. I did just do a video on those. I don't know which video will come out first because I do batch make these videos. And I went with a hydrangea here. Again, hydrangea might be one of my favorite plants, other than like architectural evergreens, but which I don't have any of, so that's kind of sad. But wah, wah, wah. There's Rue Bear. Hey, Rue Bear. So I've got just kind of like a green and white hydrangea theme going here. So hydrangea, some begonia. This is a shade area, some Brunnera, which I can then, at the end of the season, plant these out in my landscape. I do have an area picked out for them, and some impatiens here. These are not on drips, probably the only thing in my garden not on drip, but my water hose is really close by, and I don't have a problem keeping them watered. You know, when you see like a shadow on the ground and it's a bird, just look around for your puppies. So again, I'm thinking of actually moving this pot, getting rid of this pot, and putting a grouping of some small evergreens maybe in pots, like a grouping of pots here as well, with some tree interest with stuff planted underneath them. Oh my gosh, Rue, you're so cute. He's just a cute little garden dog. Come on, baby. You wanna go get some water? There's some water over there for you. Again, I still need to do something about the grass. I don't know if I'll ever learn, but here we are. I am going to clean up this bed. I'm gonna do it. They ripped every bit of drip tubing that I had in this bed out. In fact, Jason reburied the drip tube supply line under here in some conduit, so they couldn't do that, and it actually comes out right there. I think that's actually why there's water coming out, because I was running it yesterday. There is, oh look, my calla lily. So here's a cat's pajamas cat mint, a calla lily, random stuff that doesn't make sense now because the dogs have eaten the rest of it. I need to weed this, but you can see my irises are in there. I've got a puppy. Jabbers, cute. Some stuff in here, but I need to come back and retool a lot of this. This is a limelight hydrangea, which I need to clip all that crap off the bottom. I do want to do like a Twombly sentinel maple here to contrast with my blue spruce, which is one of my favorite plants I have in my yard. I love that thing. Because, all right, hear me out. And then I've got my daylilies that they've eaten a little bit of. These are bright orange Primal Scream daylilies. Again, bright colors over here. This is the closest thing to full sun that I have for a flower bed for the most part. But check it, like orange house, blue foliage, orange house, blue foliage, orange house, blue foliage. You get the point. All right, let's come over here to the raised beds. We built these, put them together in a video several years ago at this point. I do love these. I think they're easiest to grow in. I did have a lot of pots around them. The dogs ate all the drip, all kind of problems, and I need to put some more soil in here. I actually had the kids clean out this bed for me yesterday. I do try to get them to do some garden chores on a regular basis. I've got potatoes growing in this one, and again, we put chicken wire up so the dogs would stop jumping in it. And then I've got this clematis here, or clematis, depending on who you are. These seed heads, you know, like they're something. And this side has kind of climbed. Part of me wants to just go in here and put like a really fun, like something. But this side just won't climb. Like it won't do it. Now, grant you, I did see that my dogs were in this bed yesterday. This is my garlic. It's looking pretty shady. I haven't done anything about the fact that the dogs are eating it. It is starting to throw up some scapes, which leads me to believe that it's going to be ready to go in a couple weeks. But again, I planted these and I did not protect them, and they've got aphids again. Like, look at that. Ugh, gross. I'm going to get covered in aphids when I harvest it. I didn't do anything about it, and the dogs have been in here just having a field day. Probably could weed this as well. So haven't done any maintenance on it, so whatever we get is what we get, and that's on us. You know, wipe the aphids on my clothes because, you know. Then I've got the onions here. I did protect this one. I did replace the drip in this one, but I have not run the drip in this bed. And they're starting to look like they're a little floppy. Like, see how that one's kind of floppy. So I'll give it about a week for the rest of them to flop over, and then we'll come in and harvest. Again, I don't know how to grow big onions, and I think part of the problem is that I don't fertilize enough. I do need to come put some fertilizer in here. Again, we have not run any of this drip because I need to go back through here and fix it. Like, it's buried under here for the most part, I think. But, like, yeah. Like, you know, that ain't gonna work till I do something about it. I'm almost afraid to pull on this. Yep, that ain't gonna work right there. And then, like, I'm clearly gonna have to dig through here and do some work. Like, look how much they dug that out. Like, they really went to town on this. And then where I moved all those pots, all that drip has to be fixed too. But some of it is buried, so they can't get to it. The potatoes, however, are looking pretty good. So let's go over here. We'll go back over to the front beds that we just did a video on. like literally 10 minutes ago, but to you it'll be a couple weeks from now because I do a terrible job of putting these videos up. Again, I need to, let's go up the stairs. Let's just not even work on those beds. I will say the one thing that I am happy about, look, freaking pot, man. There's a piece of drip tubing they tried to eat. So I think through this summer, I need to come in here and kill these weeds. Let's just be honest with ourselves. I will say that they are taking care of my vole problem for me. The voles are gone because the dogs are back, so that's good. I do have one of the 4 oak leaf hydrangeas. I mean, I've got that one too, but that looks like, oh, actually, I think vole's got this one. I don't know, I can't tell. We do have one oak leaf hydrangea here. I do want it to be, I mean, you're gonna have to see the vision with me, people. These 2 trees, it's pretty shady. Get far enough back that you can see what I'm talking about. But see, they're trying to vole hunt, but I don't want them to dig the plants, so that's a problem. So anyhow, we've got this tree and then this tree. Between the 2, I want a line of oak leaf hydrangeas, and in the middle, a pot with like a statement tree, and then, you know, underplanted. And then we can do those Brunnera. We can start putting them here and then like dividing them. Sorry, I had to bend over and get that bug off me. Brunnera or some kind of something in front of here. And I would like to actually do some lemony lace elderberry right here. And I think I want to hang like a little thing off these and do some ferns, but that's neither here nor there. Also back there, there's supposed to be a line of Limelight Primes. One is left. Yeah. But we need to do something in front of here too. There was more plants again, they ate them. And then we've got hostas over here. And I think when I move the hostas from that front bed, I will divide all of these hostas and have a menagerie of hostas. And I should have enough between those to go all the way across maybe, hopefully. And there's supposed to be a line of hydrangeas back there, but I don't know. They were over here. They were the Endless Summer variety, and they would just flop and look terrible and never could get enough water no matter how much drip I gave them, because this area is pretty good full sun. So I moved them over here so they would get a lot more protection, and they have not bloomed ever since. The plants look rather healthy. The ones that you haven't eaten look rather healthy, but they haven't bloomed. I haven't also fertilized them. There is my Japanese maple that's been dying since I put it there. I don't know. It looks okay, so probably just leave it because why not? So this is the front flower bed. Again, I need to do something about my grass. So I've got these 2 roses here. They look the best they've ever looked. They've been blooming their heads off, look really great actually. And like, look at this. This is a Carding Mill rose. And I was obsessed with David Austin roses, and I still think that they are just the most beautiful flowers. Next to them, we've got a peony here and a peony here. I've got my lamb's ear here that's still getting trampled a little bit. And then I've got where I've divided out what has survived from the dogs. 3 Rudbeckia that'll bloom a little later. So we need to have a little heart-to-heart about my David Austin roses. I've planted several. These look the best. Like after a couple years, they look pretty good. But I'm learning about myself while this rose is actually the same color as my shirt. I've learned about myself that I like bright colors in my garden. Really bright. And these aren't that. They look good. At least they're not dead like everything else in my garden, but I would prefer something with much brighter colors. Now, the other issue I have with roses is in order to keep them healthy. So they bloom right now and they look really, really pretty, and they'll bloom again in the fall. They get attacked with every bug on the planet. And the bottom of them isn't too pretty. And their blooms are kind of fleeting, and then you get this mess of petals on the ground. And I don't want to spray them with Sevin Dust all the time, but that's what it would take. And especially when the Japanese beetles come around, that's just going to pick these suckers clean. They're going to be done. So while they look really pretty, and I do love the flowers, I really think I'm going to take them out. The other thing about this is these peonies. Same deal. Love the flowers on the peonies. The foliage looks kind of okay, but they bloom, and as soon as they bloom, they flop. I've put like, supports on them. They're just floppy. They bloom and the blooms fall over. God forbid it rains, which it will because it's spring around here. Flop. Just complete and utter flop. I'm missing a dog. She's around here somewhere. So I'm thinking that I'm actually going to redo this bed again. And I'm going to take all 4 of the back plants out. And I'm going to do a line of gardenias. And the reason I want to do a line of gardenias is A, they'll be evergreen. The foliage is beautiful. They scream southern to me. I want gardenias somewhere in my garden, and I don't have many full sun spots. But B, the smell will be phenomenal. Then in front of that, I'm thinking I'm going to do the lamb's ear all the way across and maybe even to the side. Because what happens right here is it's very hard to keep this edge right because this is a very steep slope. If I did some lamb's ear on the edge, perfect. So we'll have it, like going all the way around gardenias. And then in front of that, we can do our black-eyed Susans or our Rudbeckia. I love black-eyed Susans. I think I'm going to start spreading them and making them a cohesive choice all over my garden because A lot of bright color from them. B, they're a native plant. They're really low maintenance. They grow really well here. And I love that bright, bright, bright yellow color that screams Americana, that screams kind of like country to me. So that may be what we do. We'll find out. So let's flip back around. I love David Austin roses, but they're just not working for me. I mean, they are, but they're not. They're a lot of maintenance. So let's flip back around. So this is the unfinished portion of the bed, but we did plant these up. I did do a video about this. Put these containers and planted them up. These containers are bringing me a lot of joy. I do need to come out here today and finish mulching this, and I'm spending a lot of time making videos. Eventually, I would like to have lots of plants on my porch, but we haven't figured that out yet. That's a whole nother issue. But then we've got this other bed that we put in here and the other container here. So let's go out to the vegetable garden because that's where the majority of good things are happening. Eventually, I want a whole lot more flower beds around here, a whole lot more hydrangeas, a lot of fern texture. Come on, pups. Can't leave them to this brand new bed. Good girl, Rue. Good girl, Jabbies. Oh, you're good girls. We're gonna go backyard, girls. Come on. That way y'all don't eat my plants. But we're working on it little by little, and of course I've had some setbacks as far as the dogs eating things. So we're learning, we're getting there, and that's what this channel is all about. So let's go back here into the vegetable garden. So I'm very happy with this space. I'm very happy with how it looks right now. It does need some maintenance. I'm going for about 80% perfection on my vegetable garden, but it is fenced in, so that makes it a lot easier to keep the dogs out. They are not allowed in here at all. This is also where I'm hoarding plants that need to be planted. So when we walk in, again, I did put mulch down. I did a video, and I said that I was not going to use any straw this year. So the reason that we went with this mulch here was so that I could come in with my weed blowtorch and blowtorch any of the weeds that grow, especially like around the edges and in the pathways, to make it easier to maintain. It doesn't have to be 100% weed free. I'm looking for 80% weed free. I've also got some containers that we haven't used and just a place to generally stack, soil, and we'll talk about that straw in a minute and how that ended up here. Got some canna lilies for a project that I want to do in the front yard. I would like to put a greenhouse right here because, why wouldn't I? So we'll see if the budget allows for that. And I do want containers with beautiful, colorful things in here. So this tree has been in this container for a while, and I definitely need to move it, but I have a plan for that as well, and stakes. So I've got all along this fence line Ruby Moon Hyacinth bean that I have started. And I actually started this one inside, but a lot of them I just put in the ground and they're doing just as well. So I want them to cover this side of the fence, and that side of the fence I've got black-eyed peas or cowpeas. And as we go down here, we've got, this line is dedicated for watermelons, and you saw us plant our watermelon seeds. Some of them came up, some of them didn't, so I'm gonna come back in here and replant some of those. Again, I need to come in here with my weed blowtorch and blowtorch some weeds. Here we've got a couple of pepper plants. I've got a sashimi, several jalapenos, plants that we started indoors that aren't thriving. My seed setup this year was not good, so another reason I kind of want a greenhouse. I've got some eggplants, and I've got some other squash planted towards the end. I've got some where I've started some cilantro, and I think that's dill over there. This container with sun patience in it so that they can take either sun or shade, and it is, oh, it's wet underneath there. I wanted some bright colors, so we did like this reddish orange and this vibrant purple. Need to give it some more fertilizer. I started cucumbers here, but none of them came up, so I need to restart those today. We've got green beans here, which are looking pretty good. Now you'll notice that I've got my mulch, like my mulch that I came in here and took care of. Again, I've got to weed. That might be the thing on today's agenda, is pulling weeds. But in the planting spaces, you see it's mulched with leaf litter. And I said I was gonna do that. And I do like that it is suppressing the weeds. One of the goals this year is to not have any exposed soil in the vegetable garden. And it is doing that. We've got some celery in this one. And then we've got all of our tomato plants, which desperately need to be staked. And I ordered the things to stake them. And we've got some, what are these? Nasturtiums as well. Full line of tomato plants looking great. Some of them producing tomatoes already. Got a tomatillo at the end. But you'll notice this one doesn't have any mulch in it because this is my snapdragons, and I really feel like they're not gonna thrive. We'll go down here. This is all cut flowers. So we've got snapdragons that are just looking eaten by the bugs. I have had a bug problem this May. And then we've got Dara that's actually looking really, really good. And I need to come out here and put some supports up for these. We got some more Dara marigolds looking great. What is this one? Blue Boy Bachelor's Button, Strawflower, Black Knight Scabiosa, and some ornamental basil. Again, I need to come out here. And at the end here, we have got some very well eaten. These just need to be pulled. These are all sunflowers. They just need to be pulled. Same thing over here. I need to start preemptively treating those for bugs as well. But in any case, gosh, I just need to come out here with a blowtorch. Then we've got corn here, but you'll notice this is mulched with straw. That is mulched with straw, but that is mulched with leaf litter. It's story time. So I was going to use leaf litter for all of my mulching needs in my planting areas. It was free. Look at all these trees. I get plenty of leaf litter. I got a pile right over there. So go over there with my 5-gallon buckets and I rake up my leaf litter. Now I realize that that place is what I like to call snaky looking. I like snakes on paper. They're good for your garden. I understand. They scare the crap out of me. I have actually gotten a lot better about it, but they scare the crap out of me. They startle you. If you don't like, I don't like to be startled, and if you don't know that, there's a video of me being startled. My kids like to play it for strangers. It's a fun time. So I go over there and I gather up, I rake up some leaves, and I take my hands and I pick up handfuls of leaves and put them in my bucket. I really got to stake that tomato. It is laying on the ground and it's got a tomato forming, and I've got to come out here. That's happening this weekend. As soon as them stake things get here, we're going to be staking these tomatoes like we're not playing. Not my baby tomatoes. Ooh, everybody love, you know when you garden, you love your tomatoes. Sorry, side note. So coming back to this story, I pick up these leaves and y'all know where this is going. And I put them in the buckets and I carry them over here and I put my hand in the bucket and I pick them up and I drop it and I realize that I dropped a snake. Now, is it a big snake? No, it's like 6 inches. Is it a poisonous snake? No. How do I know that? Because my husband saw me flailing around like a lost person, came running over here with my children and proceeded to analyze the snake to make sure it was a good snake, show the kids what a good snake looks like, explain to them why we need good snakes in the yard, and then usher him into the woods all safe and sound. Like no snakes were harmed in this, but I needed medication. So I said, I ain't doing no more leaf litter. That's not for me. I'm gonna go get some straw. Now, the reason the straw is here is to suppress weeds. Again, we're going for 80% on the weeds, and it's doing an excellent job. I'm very happy with it. However, it's also here so that I can blow torch like the walkways. I could still do that because, you know, I don't think they're gonna catch on fire too awful much. We might find out the hard way. But in any case, that's why there's straw some places. And I thought, I don't want to spend the money on straw, but like a bale of straw apparently was $7. And I didn't remember that from last time, but next time I'll just buy the dang straw. And I still got plenty. Like, straw goes so far. And I've got plenty, and it'll probably rot there, and then I'll have to pick it up and be all gross, but whatever. Can't have everything. All right, so flip you back around. Let's look at the garden. You don't want to look at me anyhow. You didn't click on this channel to see me have gotten dressed this morning because I haven't started working. There's not mud all over my face. So this one we have zinnias. So we've got corn, we've got zinnias. This back part of this is sunflower seeds, which I put in the other day. I did not realize that the timer for this was broken, so they may not be doing a very good, I don't know, that looks pretty good right there. I did it real thick too. Nah, they're coming up fine, coming up great. And then here we've got weeds. We've got okra as well. So we have a nice big line of okra. This bed over here. We have got beets, cabbage, which the cabbage looks so pretty. I don't know that we'll eat this much. I'll probably give a lot of it away, but the cabbage looks pretty. I've actually got some bells of Ireland that I seeded, and I could actually probably harvest some of these, and I need to come out and harvest. And then I've got that bells of Ireland. Looks sketchy. Buplurum, which looks really great. I will grow again. What's going on here? Leaves are getting a little crispy. Again, the water was off to this. I need to go ahead and start harvesting this. And then behind that, I don't think I've put anything. There's another succession of sunflowers in this one. Here are our black-eyed peas. Again, we have a bug problem around here. And they've come up and looking great. Again, I need to weed. And then we've got our dahlias. Now, what's going on with this guy? He's getting eaten by bugs. Dahlias all through here. And the dahlias are actually looking the best they've ever looked. So I'm very happy about that. Looks like we're missing one right there, but can't have everything. Dahlias are looking the best they've looked. And then we've got our amazel basils, our herbs, strawberries, and plants that still yet need to be planted. This container I'm really enjoying. This is probably my favorite combination of plants, and that is this lobelia. This is my favorite container because it's got my kids' handprints on it. And this reblooming sunflower. It's my favorite container. I love the yellow and the blue together. So that is how the garden is looking in May. Some things are looking great. Some things could look a little better. You know, that's how it goes though. So that's it. Thank you. What is she doing? Again, you know, we're doing better. We're learning things as we go, and we're doing a lot better. This needs to be taken off. But in any case, we're learning things as we go. We're getting better at this every year. Of course, there still needs some work to be done, but things are looking really awesome. Thank you guys for watching. Comment below what's working in your garden right now, what's not working in your garden right now. I keep looking at these weeds and thinking I need to blowtorch them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.